Greetings, everybody. I just wanted to get on here today on this magical Monday. It's not my normal day usually for making just, many videos. But, and as a matter of fact, here in the States, it's observance of Memorial Day, so there's a lot of people having picnics and things. Not too many people, I don't think, watching YouTube. But I wanted to bring this up. I wanted to call attention to a subject that we don't often talk about too much here on this channel or other channels in this way, and it's about magic within witchcraft. Magic within witchcraft. Like, what about that? That seems like an odd subject to bring up here on this channel, because most people here are, if you're watching me today, you're probably a witch or call yourself a witch or like to be around witches or want to be a witch, or maybe you're into tarot or maybe other divination forms which are commonly used by witches. So we all sort of have that in common. So it shouldn't be a matter really of discussion or debate about magic being in witchcraft. But yet we find ourselves again revisiting this subject. And what I mean by again is about 7 or 8 years ago, I think it was, I believe it was Tequila, the lady grave dancer, who brought the subject up in the first place about, excuse me, what did she say? Something about witches, why witches don't witch, or something like that. I just remember I participated in it. I gave her a response. These were the days we used to do video responses of each other. It was easily done, and we usually communicated in that way. And I don't know, there's quite a few people, I think, responded. Active people in the community responded to their version of why it is that witches don't witch. And what she meant by that, I think, was, if you need money, or you need a healing, or you need something to happen, or you need to help with finding a job, or you need something like that, you worry. But why don't you use your powers as a witch, or your practice as a witch to do things? Why don't you do witch things? Why don't you do witchy things? She says, like a lot of witches, in her opinion, we're talking about it. They're all talking to action. In other words, they talk about being a witch, but when it comes down to it, they don't wear their spells, wear other things like that. We all know people like that. I know quite a few people like that in the witch community, and wherever, online or in person or wherever, that are witches, proclaimed witches, self-proclaimed witches, who really don't practice their craft by using spell work or anything like that. Okay. But I think before we get into the discussion, and I don't want to get into too big a discussion, maybe I'm talking too fast. I want to slow down, but I want a short video. I want to make a shorter video if it's possible. But the idea of magic, first of all, what do we even mean by magic? If you ask 100 witches what they mean by magic, what is the definition of magic, you're going to probably get 100 answers, 100 different answers. If you look it up on your Google, what is witchcraft, you're going to probably get all kinds of, mumbo jumbo about a lot of different things, talking about magic. And by the way, I think we can agree that we are not talking about hocus pocus magic. We're talking about like a magician, that kind of a sleight of hand magic or anything. We're talking about the energy of magic. Okay. So that's really good. And as a matter of fact, the subject of magic has been talked about for centuries. I came across a journal that was published in, what was the date? I have notes here on it. 1908, so 115 years ago? 115 years ago, something like that. In a journal called the Sociological Review, which condemned it. It mentioned it was talking about what is magic, the definition of magic. And of course I didn't get to read the whole journal because I didn't have a subscription to whatever this was on. But I got to read enough of it, the introduction, which was enough to give me an idea of what it was about. And it said that magic was universally condemned by science, because it simply does not do what it professes to do. So therefore, it was condemned by science. It was condemned by morality, because it says the ends of magic are morally wrong. And it was condemned by religion, because it says it has recourse to the aid of evil spirits. Well, that was 1908, and I think a lot of ideas about it have changed, hopefully for the better, in 115 years. But still, if you ask people now, do they believe in magic, you will get answers like, no, I believe in science. I don't believe in magic. No, I believe in God. I don't believe in magic. Or, no, I don't believe in anything. I don't believe in anything. So I just thought, that's kind of interesting. And I'm not going to talk about religion today. I'm not going to talk about, even though a lot of witches are very religious, yes, I will say that, a lot of them are. I'm not going to talk about morality, because witches, again, different opinions. Some people only practice what a lot of people call white magic. Other people call, no dark magic, no bindings or hexes or curses. We all have different grades of where we go in those areas. Not the point of discussion today. Science, I'm very interested in. I'm very interested in science, especially as compared to magic. Did you ever think of it? Well, my definition, a general definition of magic, just generally, is when I combine the energies within me, which are either there for however they got there, that's a matter of opinion too. They could be just inherently within everybody. They could be given to me by accident of birth, being birthed, to have certain powers that other people don't have, whatever. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter for the point of this discussion, but we all have some kind of these energies within us that we combine with other energies, usually the elemental energies. And by the elemental energies, I mean the energies of the energies around us here on earth, the air, the fire, the water, those energies, to affect a change. Okay, so let me say that again. Combining my energies with the elemental energies in some way, to affect some kind of a change. What do I mean? What is that not clear? Let me see. When I'm going to do a spell, I might light a candle. What is that? Fire, elemental energy of fire. I might consecrate with water, magical waters of some kind, right? Elemental water. Air, I might use my words. I might use my thought, my will, right? Or I might use other things like incense, certain kind of herbal properties or things. I might use crystals, earth. I might use other energies, elemental energies, therefore, to effect a change. That's what it is. That's what magic is. Now let's just stop a minute. As a student in school, we study science. And in the very basic form we learn, I think one of the first scientific lessons that we ever learn in school, perhaps here at least in the States, is that about water. We learn that, we can go down to the tiniest drop of water, but it's still water, okay? And further is still water. But inside that drop of water are molecules of different kind of molecules. And I think in elementary school, we don't care what kind. Later on, we find out that it is molecules of hydrogen and oxygen, which combine to make the water. That's okay. We won't go into that today. But we do know the properties of water, and we do know that just like anything else in nature, the molecules are constantly moving, the energy. I can pick up a book, and it feels solid to me, or a stone, and it feels solid to me, or a crystal feels solid to me. But inside that stone, the molecules are moving. They're just moving so slowly to our eye, they appear not to be moving at all. And we learn that lesson by taking water and slowing down the movement of the molecules of water within the water by putting it in the freezer. And what happens to the water? It turns into ice. It appears to be solid rather than a liquid. It's a solid. But it's not really a solid. It's still, those molecules are in there moving. They're just so slow we can't see them move. Okay? Now, likewise, we can take that ice cube or the water, the solid or the liquid, and we can speed up the movement of the molecules. Speed it up by adding, what do we add? We add the elemental energy of fire. We add that to it, the heat, We put it on the stove and we bring it to a boil. And boy, they're moving so fast, we can see them moving. We can see the bubbles. We can see the bubbles. The bubbles get faster and faster and faster and faster. And what happens? They start to dissipate. They start to evaporate. They start to evaporate and they go into the air. And it is possible to take a pan of water and boil that pan dry. That every molecule of water has moved so fast, it has gone out into the air and it has vanished. It has vanished. That sounds like magic. Doesn't that sound like magic? It's science. Okay. Now, I'm not going any further in science because I think I just lost quite a few of you, and I didn't mean to do that. But I want to say, the more you learn about science, the more fascinating it is, and the more magical it appears. That's why most people who know a lot about science, they're not like, they still believe in, a lot of them get more religious. Like I think I got more religious the more I believe, the more science I learned when I saw how fascinating it was and how magical and the things that happened magically within nature and within science. That can't be an accident. How could that be an accident? It was like, it's so amazing. Okay. The world is so much more rich than we think it is. The world of magic is so much more rich than we think it is. It's so much more. It's not just candles and incense and, crystals and tarot cards and, I don't know what else you want to say, It's not just that. It is science. There's science in it. Where's the science? The science is in the magical properties. You've seen those all over the internet. What are the magical properties of rosemary? What are the magical properties of the color red for a candle? What are the magical properties in lavender essential oils? We know that. And it's becoming mainstream, isn't it? Even people who are not magical, who are not witches, who are not believing that in any way, buy essential oils. They know, interior designers. We used to have a business that worked with interior designers. And my goodness, their colors of the room, the colors of the furniture, the colors of the carpet, that is magic. It's magic because it can change your mood. It can change your mood. A designer will tell you don't ever paint your kitchen blue or blue food. If your food was all blue, you wouldn't want to eat it. The magical properties of blue. If they work in life, if they work in science, they work in magic. These properties of energy, they work in magic. It is the properties of energy. Properties of energy. Because magic, what did we say? Magic takes my energies, whatever I have inside me, and causing my energies, maybe combining them with the energies of the elements, maybe combining them with the elemental energies of air, fire, earth, water, to affect some kind of a change. The more that we can use to enhance our magical spells, the greater the chance of success of our spells. Okay. Now, you talk about really, really powerful witches. You can't get more powerful, in my opinion, than tequila. I don't think I've ever met a person more magical or more successful as a witch. I mean, she has practiced magic her whole life, and she is very good at it. But what's the word? And she's the first to tell you what the word is. Practice. Practice. You don't just get up in the morning and go, oh, I'm going to do some spells today. Oh, I'm going to make, make something happen. I'm going to make something happen. I'm going to just make a spell and it'll happen. You have to practice. You have to practice at it. You have to practice how to focus your energies. You have to practice at your knowledge, learn more knowledge, educate yourself more to see what will help your spell, what will help your spell to be successful. What can you use to help it be successful? But then you don't just cast your spell. You usually have to do it several times. Maybe you have to do it again. It's not that it didn't work. It's not that it didn't work. If you cast a spell and it doesn't work, it doesn't mean it's not going to work. It means it hasn't worked yet. Is that different from religion? How is that different from religion? It's not different from religion. You pray for someone to heal and they're not better. Oh, it didn't work. No, you pray more. You pray again. You get more people to pray with you, right? You focus your intention. You focus your prayer. You focus That happens all the time in religion. It needs to happen in magic too. It can happen in magic too. Okay. I'm sorry, I have some kind of a hair on my face. It's kind of bugging me. Sorry about that. Um, why am I talking about this today? Why am I talking about it? Because I have people all the time that buy things from my shop, or that, you know, buy things from other shops, you know, and they buy oils, or they buy candles, or they buy incenses, or whatever, you know, like boxes and boxes and boxes of incense, or tarot cards, or you know, whatever you want to say. And they don't use it. They really don't use it. Why don't they use it? Why don't they use it? Why do they want it if they're not going to use it? You see, that's the thing. Why don't they witch? Why don't they witch? Maybe partially it's because it's a little bit overwhelming. It could be overwhelming. The idea of magic and witchcraft can be overwhelming, because magic is a big word. Magic is a really big word, and when you think of magic, you think of it being maybe beyond your reach. I'm just a simple person. What can I do about magic? But don't think about it as being that big. Think about it as being a part of who you are as a witch. It is who you are as a witch. It is understanding. It is gaining the knowledge, gaining the experience, and understanding what you can do with both the knowledge and the experience to enhance, to affect some kind of a change in your life or the life of your loved ones. Okay. But don't be afraid to use them. You know, you can't just buy, you know, black candles and keep them in your drawer. If you want them for protection, you better get them out and light them. You better tell those candles or the universe what it is you want those black candles to do for you. You better tell it. You better tell it a couple of times. You better tell it till it believes you when you say that. And maybe if you wanted to really hear you, maybe you want to add some oil to those candles and really put some more intention into those candles to get them to work for you. Or maybe you want to burn some incense, or rub them, maybe some special herbs or things on the candle itself to magnify the intentions of whatever those candles are for. Maybe you want to do that again and again and again after day for a several period of time till you get the effect that you want, and add your intention and deepen your intention each time. That's magic. Putting the candles in the door is not magic. Putting the incense in the door is not magic. The oils in the door is not magic. Until you get them out and use them, you have not done magic. But when you break it down, it's really easy. When you break it down, it's really easy. It's taking the things around us, the tools that we have given to us as gifts. In my own garden, how many things do I have in my garden that I can take out and I can use to enhance my magical spells, or my magical oils, or make tinctures to make my family, you know, well, or make us strong, or make us, you know, help us to control our blood pressure. Okay? How many things? How many incenses can I burn to enhance the mood, to make people feel welcome in the house, to protect my family? Simple things that are given to me as gifts. It's not a big word to fear. These are simple, everyday items that we all have around us that we can utilize to help us to have the kind of life that we want to have, to affect the changes in our life that we want to make. Food for thought? It's not food for thought. That's what my channel is about. If you're here and you haven't gotten that yet, go back and watch more of my videos. Or maybe this just an initial thing. I'm not sure. I want to tell you this today because I want to tell you it, but also because on Saturday, I'm going to hold a workshop on Zoom, and I would love to see as many of you as can attend. It's on Zoom, so everybody can attend. But it's also, I realize it's when is it? I wrote it down here. It's Saturday, June 3rd. It's 11 a.m. Pacific savings time. That's Pacific time, savings time here. So East Coast, that would be 2 in the East Coast. I don't know. It's going to be recorded, and as soon as the recording is available, I will post that as a YouTube link here, and an unlisted link here on my channel. So it's available for playback, whether you attend in person or you cannot, and I can just see the recording. But if you want to go to my website, birdandthecrone.com, I will put the link below, and you can sign up for the website. I mean, for the workshop, I believe it's $30 for the workshop. I'm not even sure. I think it is. It's payable by PayPal, or you can pay by Venmo if you want to get in touch with me. But anyway, it's the first of a series of workshops that I'm going to be doing here. But I want to tell you, whether you come to the workshop or not, because, I forgot to tell you, we're going to be learning how to create your own magical oils from the things that you have on hand, how I go about creating my recipes and what I use and why I use them, and how you can make your own and why you should, and just, those kind of things. But basically, the video today and the workshop on Saturday, all are talking about the same thing. All talking about the same thing. If you're going to call yourself a witch, or you want to call yourself a witch, you don't have to wait until the time is right for you to do so. You don't have, there's no test. There's no time period where you can or cannot be a witch. But regardless of whether you're going to call yourself a witch starting tomorrow morning when you get up, or whether you called yourself a witch 30 years ago, if you don't practice, if you don't do witch, if you don't witch as a witch, as Tequila would say, witches don't witch. If you don't witch, you're really not a witch. Are you? Are you? I'm not sure. That's a judgment. I'm going to get some answers to that, I'm sure. But anyway, give some thought to it anyway. You don't have to agree with me. We never have to agree. You don't have to agree with anybody. That's not what it's about, agreement or non. But please give us some thought. That's all I ask. Think about it. Think about it. If you're a witch, do you believe in magic? And if you believe in magic, do you use it? And how do you use it? And what does it mean to you? Don't be afraid of it. It's who you are. It's who we all are. Whether we practice witchcraft or not, these gifts are given to all of us. I don't know. I don't know if I was rambling or if this makes sense to you or not. You can ask me questions on Saturday in person if you come to the workshop. Other than that, I try to get your questions here. Sooner or later, I try to get to them. Thank you for watching. I hope your magical Monday, your day is magical. And every day is magical for you. I am Rebecca, as always, and I wish you blessings.